Hi, welcome to the Kinder Two Things podcast and blog. I'm your host, Catherine. Today is Saturday, August 23rd, 2014, and this is episode 65. Okay, so it's a couple days late. Thursday, me and my mom called in sick to work. My mom had a migraine. My stomach was being a douchebag jerk. So I didn't record. I did have plans on recording last night, but then I got onto Pinterest and there went my evening after work. But I had a couple goals and I met them. So, we'll do FOs. I have 3 granny squares finished for my blanket. This is impeccable. Loops and thread impeccable in a beautiful light green. It's showing up yellow. It's not. It's, chartreuse. Like chartreuse, limey green. That kind of green. I don't have it in anything else because it was actually yarn my sister bought so I could do her, arm knit infinity cowl, which we tore out. But, I got the leftover of the worsted weight yarn. So, that's what that one is. Secondly, this is Red Heart Super Saver in the light sage or medium sage. I can't remember. I know it's not dark sage, but that's that one. And then I have Red Heart Super Saver in the medium time colorway, which you may recognize because this is what my story is knit out of. And I still have enough left that I can do at least one more square. So, 3 FOs. I do have another square on the needle, on the hook somewhere. Oh, I do. I have one on the hook in dark plum, I believe. So, that will be getting finished. I have the next 2 days off. I have today and tomorrow off. I work 2 days, then I work Monday, Tuesday, have Wednesday off, work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and after that I don't know, because I work the weekend, but 3 done, which puts my total up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 squares completed, and yes, I do have a double in there already, and I haven't crocheted all my colors, but it's coming good. For my granny square blanket, I have one plan. I'm going to use a neutral. I'm thinking either a gray or black. I might do another ring around the edge of that color and then crochet them together. But I have not picked out my color, so that hasn't happened yet. But I'm loving it. Blues and greens and purples. It's just happy. It's just so happy. So, I'm up to 10 squares. Woohoo! Oh. And yes, I have a big IKEA bag to put everything in. It's just easier, then I can keep track of which ones I've showed you guys. Okay, next up, I'm going to show you my Terribly Simple shawl by, and I forget her name already. I'm so sorry. I don't need the pattern anymore because it's terribly simple. Of course, I don't have it in there. Shoot, where is it? Downloads. I would love to share it with you. Oh, there it is. I found it. By Caitlin French. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. Okay, first week. Turn it the right way. First week, I knit 21 garter bumps. This last week, I knit 21 garter bumps. Woo! So I've doubled my length. I'm still doing the odd round with double increases. Instead of doing an increase on each end, I'm doing 2 increases on each end. Just because it's acrylic. It's not going to block out beautifully. It's just not. And I'm not going to have time to block it every time I wash it. So, but I like the shape. It's going to be more of a crescent shape. Sorry. Because it does swoop a little bit. And we'll see how much of that swoop stays once it's washed. But it's gorgeous. I love the shape. It is so super squishy and soft. It's just going to be amazing to wear this winter. Last night it got down to 2 degrees here in Alberta. Thank God my mom covered her plants. But yes, I already pulled out because I was sick Thursday and I still wasn't feeling good yesterday. Feeling better today so far. Fingers crossed I stay that way. There is summer flus going around where my mom works. Lots of people call in sick where I work, but that's just because they're little douchebags and they don't care about anyone else. They want their weekends off, they're going to take their weekends off. Yes, sorry. I felt completely horrible for calling in sick on Thursday, and I was legitimately sick, and my mom had a migraine. I wasn't going to make her drive me to work. Even though she said she would. I'm like, no, you have a migraine. Stay in bed with your head covered and take your Tylenol. Like, don't worry. But we had, yesterday, one cashier called in sick that I know of, and who knows how many other people did not show up. Because, well, they didn't want to work, so they don't. Like, how can you live? I make minimum wage. I work in a grocery store. So it's, even when I'm working my 40 hours a week, sometimes it's a little tight. So these people who work 3 days a week and they call in sick for 2, it's just like, how do you even live? Like, why? Why? Just why? I'll stop with my public service announcement with that. So it is going great. This is super squishy. This is Craft Smart yarn in the turquoise colorway. It has, and I'll show you my skein. This is what I have left of skein 1. This is what I started with. So I only have a few more rows that I'm going to have to attach. But it's going to be another 2 skeiner. They have 364 yards each. It's 100% acrylic. It's going to be about 14 ounces once I'm done, because it's 7 ounces a skein. So, but I love this yarn. It is gorgeous. It's a little different than Red Heart Super Saver and Red Heart Comfort. I find Red Heart Comfort is a little bit thicker than most of the Super Saver, but sometimes I do get a skein of Super Saver that is a little bit thicker. But it is still a normal standard size for my Super Saver. Oh, that's what's wrong. I have a cut on my finger, apparently. Cat scratch, most likely. So yes, that is going. I don't have anything to put in as a stitch marker. So because I am a girl with long hair, I'll put in a clamp, because at least then you guys will see. We'll just clamp it right onto that. And yes, I do use my hair stuff for knitting. What you can do, I always have, like right now, I have 2 elastics on my wrist, 1 in my hair. It's just easier that way. If I find a stitch marker, I'll put it in. As you might see, I've been moving stuff around. I had a cubicle here. It's a bookcase that's squares. So I had one on top of the other one. That one moved out to the living room with books. So now I have more room for my craft stuff in here. So that is one one works in progress that is going really, really well. And whatever I have left will be going into my granny square blanket. I'm sorry, I'm very ADD. And I'll get to the project behind me in a minute. These are Carol socks, number 3. These are, it's in the one magazine I have. They're called the Lazy Weekend Socks. Love of Knitting Fall 2011. Yeah, 2011. This is the first sock pattern I ever knit. She also has another one that's free that's almost exactly the same. I just always call it the Lazy Weekend Socks because I remember the name. I also make my cuffs short because my mom wears them as slipper socks, and so does her friend Carol. So this part is Red Heart Comfort in the Kiwi colorway, and the heel and what the toe will be is Red Heart Comfort in the by the sea. No, lake. It's in the lake colorway. By the sea. By the sea is a cotton colorway that I like. Sorry, brain dead. So I'm about 12 rounds from being ready to do the toe on this sock. The other sock is not quite this far along. No. This sock, I just finished the decreases, so I have a ways to go on these socks, but they're making good progress, and I really have to finish them because I need to finish 2 pairs of socks by the end of this month. I don't see that happening. But I'm going to try because I'm behind now, and I don't like being behind on my own goals. Main reason is because in the spring, the beginning of the year, I just want to knit socks. And I'm like, no, you should knit other things so you can finish your other goals too. I should just knit socks. I should just knit all the socks in the first 6 months of the year. I should. So that will be worked on a little bit more. And back here, this is the Ruffles and Wrap shawl. It is a red heart pattern. I just want to get all the information right. This is a shawl. I did not start it this year. I actually knit it right before I started podcasting. This is knit for my Auntie Trudy. It is knit out of primarily Red Heart Comfort. The black could be either Red Heart Comfort or Red Heart Super Saver. And it goes into this, oh, see, that's perfect. It's gray, black, and purple variegated for the main body of the shawl. And then I knit the whole pattern, bound it off, everything, but it's not quite long enough. So I'm just going to try and we'll squish it this way. So the pattern ends right after these eyelet rows, and then you increase your stitches. I think you're supposed to increase every 3rd stitch to do a little ruffle. Well, I ripped that out, so then I was just back to normal stitch count, and I added, the top is a section of garter and a section of stockinette, and then a section of garter and a section of stockinette before you started the main body of the pattern. I'm doing that down here. I decided to do gray. So you have our 5 garter bumps in gray, and I am now, let me look, 3 garter bumps into the variegated for the stockinette section. So this is basically just adding on a little bit. So I've added on about 2.5, 3 inches almost 3 inches. Yeah, about 2.5. So this is one thing I'm working on a lot because I want to get it off the needles, because my mom's shawl that I knit when I first started podcasting, she wants some more added on. So I have to add on to her shawl as well. This one sucks. This is on US 9s, and it has a lot of stitches. But it's gorgeous. So we have gray in the middle, and it's going to go back to it's back on variegated, and then right at the end, I'm so sorry, I have hiccups. And then it'll go back to black on the outside edge, because I apparently have mail in that basket. You guys don't need to see my mail. It's just bank statements. Not fun. So I have this much gray left, which will get recaked. I could almost wear this skein as a bangle. It's just gorgeous. I love it. I only found the one skein of this. And then I have a whole bunch of black. And this is not a center pull ball. It's just how I was winding balls before I got my little ball winder. I wind them flat so then they don't roll around, because I have cats who like to steal my yarn. So that is what is on my needles. We're at 16 minutes already. Yikes. Spinning, I have touched a little bit, but you're not going to be able to see any progress on it because it's still brown. And I'm spinning it super thin, so even though I'm spinning probably lots of yardage since I showed it to you last, you're not going to be able to see any difference because it's barely built up at all. But I know I'm getting lots of yardage because I'm winding it on all the time. But okay, so I think that's about it for this week. Yeah, that's about it. I have to weave in the ends. I wore my swearing to work yesterday because I was cold and sick, and I'm usually quite warm-blooded. I'm wearing a sweater today, not just a tank top. So I'm like, yeah, I'm still fighting off whatever it is that I got. So my plan today is to sit, knit. Yeah, that's it. So you guys can find me on the blog, Kinda Artsy Things, blogspot.ca, or on Ravelry in the group, Kinda Artsy Things. Please join. We do have a knit along for the Terribly Simple. This goes until the end of December, and the Saran knit along still goes until the end of August, so you still have a few days. So if you've knit a Saran starting April, end of April, beginning of May, till now, enter it. It doesn't matter because we don't have a normal thread going up for who's knitting what. Well, we do for me and Crystal. But that's just because sometimes we don't see each other. And yeah, if any of you have knit a Saran in the past few months, please join the group and message either myself or Crystal, and we will get a thread open for FOs, and you will win some sort of yarning prize from one of us. Most likely me, and most likely Patton's Croy sock yarn, because I have a lot of it. Okay, so I will see you guys next week. All the information's at the end of the podcast. Bye.